Bro, your posters are fucking shit. Just straight up. They aren't even posters. They're just pieces of
Yeah.
goddamn paper in a binder. Okay.
It's literally called the
Okay.
Ultimate Poster Collection. Dumb
Like
fuck.
like a poster would be like that shit on my fucking wall. That shit's just
Is that a
fucking
My Hero
paper.
poster?
Yeah. Yes. It's One Justice. It's, I got it for free.
I got Stranger Things posters in the back there.
Burn it.
All right.
Dang it.
I've been recording for like 30 seconds, so
Oh yeah.
welcome
It's
everyone
live?
to the Black Heart Podcast, where we
Yeah.
fucking scream at each other about fucking wrestling
Hi.
opinions.
Hello.
Hello.
I am a host, AfterCrash,
Hey.
You're a host.
and we have
Yeah, let's
BM,
go
and we
down
have,
the line.
we have BM, Jordan, Ace, and Khalid,
Yeah.
Kalikid,
Let's
Khalid.
just go
DJ
around the
Khaled,
table.
DJ
We have
Khaled
some
is
questions just to like ease everyone in to what kind of people we are with
Sadly.
wrestling. I'll go first. So I've been watching wrestling since 2005. My overall favorite male wrestler is The Undertaker. Favorite female wrestler currently is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. My
Your mom.
favorite tag team of all time is hashtag DIY. My favorite match of all time was Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus the Young Bucks. And my most underrated superstar, in my opinion, is Wade Barrett.
Oh, wait, we're doing that.
Yes.
Underrated? Okay.
Who's next?
That wasn't on the list. That wasn't on the list.
No,
It
I
That's
wasn't
what
on
I'm
the
asking.
list.
I added
It
that.
wasn't on the
After Crash,
list.
you're next.
Go off the
I'm next.
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, go
well,
for it.
I will. Well, I can definitely say I've been watching this shit show for about 11, 12 years. I started. I started like a few months after the first Shawn and Undertaker fight. My favorite male wrestler, obviously has to be Dag Christian Cage. Shout out to
Ooh.
the man, the myth, the legend. Favorite female wrestler, I can definitely say it's a tie between Bailey and AJ. But I was introduced to Sky Blue yesterday, and holy fuck!
I'll be using the chat.
God
Please,
damn it.
if you're listening to this,
Damn.
please agree.
You will be very
Hang on, I have to
surprised.
leave call for 1 second. I'll be right back.
My favorite
Okay,
tag team
I'll
of
be
all
right back.
time is Air Boom with
Hey,
fucking
boom.
yes with Kofi Kingston and
Evan
and
Bourne.
and Evan Bourne, yeah. And my favorite match of all time, I can happily say it's a tie between both Shawn Michaels matches with Undertaker. That's
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you're underrated superstar because that wasn't added to the list.
oh
until
yeah, it's
just
true.
Now, so.
Underrated superstar is your mom. No.
Ah, woo!
Woo! No, it's
You
fucking
can tell them.
it's fucking Evan Bourne.
Yeah. You can tell the maturity of this group right now from that.
We're
Am
all
I
immature.
next?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Sadly,
next.
just do something,
All right,
please.
my name's Jordan. Hi, I've been watching wrestling since 2011. So I got like my first pay-per-views, like the worst WrestleMania probably of all time. I was 7. My favorite male wrestlers right now, currently in WWE, is Balor. AEW, they just got Cole, so I had to put AEW with Adam Cole. All time though, Cena, because I feel like after like when he won that U.S. title, he redeemed himself. Favorite female is Bailey after the Bailey Sasha Banks Iron Women's match. I thought that was phenomenal, and that really got me onto Bailey. Uh,
That doesn't sound
favorite tag
right.
teams? No, it doesn't. Favorite tag team of all time is the Usos. I feel like they've done great in their career ever since they started. My favorite match of all time is Cena versus Styles SummerSlam 2016. Don't even at me on that. Underrated Cesaro. I feel like that's just the correct answer.
Mm. Then we have
Are
Ace.
you-
Yeah, we have
Is
Ace.
Hello.
For
How you guys doing? My name is Ace Mushroom. So
well, you're introducing yourself like it's an AA meeting. Come on, man.
I have
Alright,
drank
so-
for half my life.
I have a Shane McMahon issue.
You really
Oh
do.
no.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
my favorite. So we're gonna start with how long I've been watching wrestling
Yeah.
for. Honestly, I've
Yeah.
been watching wrestling since probably 2004, 5 probably.
Oh yeah.
So when we were just
But-
born, some of us. Sorry.
And so it's like I've I've seen plenty of dynamics over the years in different companies. So it's kind of it's hard to have a favorite sometimes. But going on to a different thing. My favorite male wrestler of all time is Kyle O'Reilly. That dude is just incredibly talented, and he's so young. He has so much room to grow. Favorite female wrestler? Angelina Love. I love her so much. She was so great. She held that women's division down. It's either between her or Gail Kim because I really can't choose, but it's very hard. And favorite tag team? Let me see. I really got to think about that, honestly. Favorite favorite
Wrote
tag
mine
team
down.
really has to be honestly Motor City Machine Guns.
That's fair.
They changed tag team wrestling as a whole. Those two right there. And favorite match of all time? NXT Takeover 36, Kyle O'Reilly versus Finn Balor. Head to head, neck and neck, such a great match. Those two are amazing.
Cool.
Nice.
Is it my turn then?
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
Sadly.
I watched. So
Boo!
Boo, go off the stage. Fuck off.
I
Let him
watched
go.
wrestling from 2012 to 2018, and then took a break for a couple of years, and I started watching again like last month or so. Favorite male wrestler Shawn Michaels. Favorite female wrestler AJ Lee. Favorite tag team DX. Favorite match of all time probably definitely has to be Michaels versus Taker at Mania 26. And favorite underrated wrestler is John Morrison.
Ooh, yeah.
Good answer. Good answer.
Not enough love for John Morrison and
He
his
did do well in
slow mo.
Impact. He did do well in Impact.
He did, but like he
will
could have been more in
happily.
WWE.
I will happily admit this giant drip stick shit is fucking annoying.
Well, he
I
did
know.
drop it. He's versing Miz.
Yeah,
now.
he is dropping it.
I
So I
know.
think he's gonna. I
I
hope for.
always liked John Morrison.
He's going back to how he was with Johnny Nitro, just being a disgusting heel.
Yeah.
Please
Also,
and please give my world title push.
for
Hell
context
no,
for
he
the
ain't gonna get
viewers,
that.
we are literally watching
I know
this
he did good in
while
Impact,
Raw
but
is
I know
happening.
he could have been more.
We're literally watching this while Raw is happening, so
Yeah.
I'm
well,
not.
Yeah,
Fuck Raw.
yeah.
I
Fuck
have it
Raw.
on, but I'm not really paying attention.
Raw can literally
But,
eat ass.
for our first discussion for
love
this
to.
episode,
But-
we Jesus.
But
That scares
shut the
the
Jesus
fuck
heck
up.
out of me.
But the main reason why we want to do this today, during Raw, because A, fuck Raw, and B, we had a show last night, and fucking
yes.
Christ, in my opinion,
Five-star classic.
in my opinion, that fucking pay-per-view is easily the best in at least a decade.
We're gonna go
The last
by
5 years.
Yeah.
We're gonna go match by match, and we're gonna say our opinions on it. So the first match of the night was the 10-man tag team match between Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Utah, and Jurassic Express versus the TH2, Private Party, and Matt Hardy.
Yeah, the Matt Hardy family business shit.
So I'm gonna start real quickly. I didn't watch this, so I'm gonna drop out of this conversation for this one.
Yeah, I
did
didn't
not make
either,
it.
so I'll just mute.
I went back to watch it after the entire show. It was a good quality match when you have people in there like Private Party, Matt Hardy, Jurassic Express, and Orange Cassidy. It's gonna be a quality match. The people know how to work together.
I mean, it's a standard 10 tag match. It's always chaotic. It's
Like,
not. It wasn't to the degree of like some of like the major tag teams, kind of like Survivor Series. Like those are usually
Yeah.
like the major 10-man tags, but it was somewhat forgettable, but it wasn't like to the point of like wow, I just slept through it.
Yeah, like it's obviously not gonna like take home the show, but it's a good match to open the night.
Yeah,
because you had so many of those people that like you enjoy watching, and they just put on a good match.
It was a good cool down to make people chill the fuck out.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. What was the next match on the card? Yeah, the next match of the card was for the AEW TNT Championship, Miro and Eddie Kingston.
That
Which
match
one's
right
this one?
there was literally like a Japanese strong style match, and it was.
It really was.
Eddie D's
But
Brutal.
I
nuts.
am dropping out of this one.
Oh,
You
Jesus
didn't
Christ.
see it?
What were you-
I was in
didn't
the
see it?
shower
You saw
during
it?
this one.
Yeah,
I was in
know.
the shower.
You-
Also, I just want to
Wha-
say, Chuck, they're making a Chucky TV show, so I'm kind of pissed off right now.
Yeah, it's fucking
just saw
boring.
the
Also, I want to comment on the shower shit. You were in a shower for an hour and a fucking half.
Yesterday, I was also
Yes.
eating.
No,
also
in the
no,
shower.
no. You fucking
No.
messaged me
Shower?
right after you showered. You're like, dude, you know, man, it's really, it was like 8 p.m. and then it went to 9:30, and it was like, oh, I just got out of the show. I'm gonna get something to eat. It's like,
Hold on, no, I was at work, bro. I just got off work at 8. I had to drive home.
Jesus.
How's that?
Um,
Shush. You don't get an excuse.
Miro and Eddie Kingston is a good match because they both are very powerful.
Sounds
so
entertaining.
Yeah, like they
I-
were very good in the ring.
I really like the redeem these nuts shirt he came out with.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm purchasing
I-
that one. Purchasing that one.
I
yeah.
really
I-
hope this match isn't a one-off
surprised
though,
we haven't
because I
talked
really
about it
feel
yet.
like
Yeah, I feel like they could have like a good 2 to 3 more matches.
Eddie,
because let's be honest,
Eddie
Eddie
Kingston.
needs it.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston is over like sliced bread at this point, and he I don't think it would help with Miro's story to be defeated. So I think he should probably go up a bit up the card.
Maybe they're,
AEW
like,
World Championship. Hello.
Well,
No, maybe like
well,
you're-
I'm thinking
they're
like
promoting,
maybe
like,
I'm thinking like maybe like after Miro or after Kenny, because I feel like those two stories are just way too like
Kenny
focused.
versus Miro. Would that be a good match? Or
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it really would.
would.
Because think about it, Kenny's style is fit for any kind of weight. Somebody's bigger than him could just go down with a whole bunch of V triggers, and even then, they could just.
Like
Yeah.
Kenny's fighting style is very high paced, high impact wrestling, and then you have someone like Miro in the ring that's very like heavy grappling, throwing people down. It's literally like he could run for a V trigger, Miro could catch him and just plant him down on the ground.
pretty sure like the next match that Miro has is gonna be the one he loses. I think it's gonna be a Malachi Black.
Oh, it has to be,
yeah.
but it's like
Well, they're
but
both
Malachi.
undefeated. They're both undefeated at the moment.
Yeah.
But is it Malachi feuding with what's his name right now?
The
Cardi's
Rhodes.
brother.
Yeah, the Rhodes right now.
Yeah, he's
So
taking
it's
on
like-
the entire Rhodes
maybe
family.
Miro does like one more feud
Yeah, he's
with
taking
the
over the
belt,
whole
and
Hot
goddamn
then
tag.
thing.
they do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
Hot
probably.
they
tag
could
coming in.
they could finish it off. They could finish it off before the next pay per view comes up, like they always do, and set up for that to be the next feud for that pay per view, so they could crown Kingston there. I'm not Kingston, but a new champion at the pay per view.
So
That's what they tend to be doing. They don't really give people like new titles unless it's like a special episode of Dynamite, or just like highly built up feud.
Like fucking the next episode Dynamite's gonna be. It's probably gonna be a big episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the third match on the card was the singles match between John Moxley and Satrishi. I butchered that name massively. But I don't care.
I will highly
Can't
say
pronounce
that
Japanese names.
this match I kind of slept on. It wasn't Moxley's best in AEW, but what it wasn't his worst. So
At the
it's
same time, how can you put on that on him
Yeah.
because the guy he's working with is like 50 something?
yeah.
And
Mm.
not even just that. Like even though that guy he's 50, but he looks like he's in his early 30s,
Oh yeah.
and
looks
he
good.
wrestled really well. Like it wasn't really John's match. It was his match, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
But they did
but-
get ready for another Japan match because the other guy came out.
Because Suzuki came out.
Yeah, because
Afterwards.
yeah.
So that's calling him because like John Moxley
And-
is
and they're doing-
he's wrestling both in AEW and going over to New Japan to wrestle there as well.
Yeah.
So they're
And
just, like,
Global
making-
Force.
and Global Force. So like I get that they're trying to like intertwine the companies and bringing more people over for more.
It's
interesting
fucking hard.
matches. It's difficult. It's difficult to do, but I feel like if they execute it correctly, it could be something really really good.
I'm just kind of surprised they're giving the Suzuki match on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a freaking pay per view
Same
match.
with
Yeah, it's a
I feel
Right.
like maybe there's gonna be it might
Oh, yeah.
have like a false finish or something. I don't think it's gonna be a clean finish in that
I
match.
think they're gonna save that for the pay per view.
Yeah, like
Probably.
someone interferes or something.
I mean, I want to see John feud. I want to see John feud with Miro actually.
That'd be
John
nice.
would be a good TNT champion.
Pirate champion.
Honest-
He should
Um,
he should probably
you're
be
not
their
gonna-
first.
Yeah, wait, what's that new title coming out? They're announcing a new one, right?
They're
They are.
supposed to be a Cody said he tweeted a while back there's going to be a surprise for people who like factions. So they were probably thinking about
Oh,
making
like a
a
faction
title
title.
Is Jericho gonna get Is Jericho?
I mean, think
Probably.
about it. Like
Well, think
Ring
about
of
it. How
Honor
many?
has a 6-man
Yeah.
title.
They literally have so
Remember-
many factions in AEW because you have Dark Order, you have Inner Circle, you have MJF's one, you have
Elite.
freaking Elite, you have
Matt
freaking, like,
Hardy's
Jurassic
family
Express,
stable.
Matt Hardy,
Thing.
the Nightmare Family. Like, you have a lot of different factions
Yeah.
that you could put that on, which would be good. Because who knows, you could fucking you could make the Elite freaking just storm over everyone. Kenny holding freaking World, Adam Cole holding
hope
TNT,
And then,
freaking everyone else.
then we should literally just bang on NXT's door and just grab
Well,
everyone
Well,
from
no, I don't want to talk
from-
about it yet.
from Undisputed and give them an actual run.
Like Kyle O'Reilly
Yeah.
and
Roderick
I do
Strong
want to
and-
say we shouldn't
Fi-
talk about
I mean,
it yet.
Fish is out of business right now. Bobby Fish
Talk
is.
about, oh
He
yeah,
keeps on
because
getting
that happens
injured.
later.
He keeps on getting
Yeah.
injured.
So wait, I do want to say something for a certain one person that's part of the Elite that we won't talk about till later. They could totally hold that new belt that's coming. Them with the Young Bucks, but we'll talk about that person later on. I think
mean-
most people know what it is,
We
but we'll
fucking-
hold on till later on.
Bro, dude, AEW is like the most goddamn talk thing right now. It's fucking Adam Cole. Like,
It's the
Yeah.
hottest company.
Shut the fuck up,
bro, dude.
we gotta keep it based. We gotta keep it in order. You just ruined the entire event.
Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, and fucking Ruby Soho. Okay, we're
I'm gonna keep it a secret that 3 people debuted
Yeah.
last night. Oh
Edit
my
that
God.
out. Edit that out. Cut.
Fuck
We're
no,
cutting
bro.
that out.
This is
All right.
this is all
Hey,
good.
we're
No,
back from the
we're
cut,
in.
guys. What's the next match?
The
It's
next
the
match
Dr. Britt
was,
Baker.
was the AEW Women's Championship. We had Chris Statlander versus Britt Baker, D.
Mommy,
and
mommy,
Stop.
mommy, mommy,
It was-
Stop
Shut
it,
the
stop
fuck
it.
up.
Stop
Are
it.
are,
We
are
said
you
no
are you
being
even of
thirsty
age
during the
to even call
podcast.
her a mommy?
It was
yes.
a great match. I would say it was a really good match because Chris Statlander and Britt Baker already had chemistry in the ring, and the fact that their fighting styles are so similar, like they could have just they smashed it out massively.
I'm gonna talk
Yeah,
about one thing that we all talked about: the Canadian driver into the curb stomp.
Definitely,
Yeah.
Because
was
phenomenal.
The Canadian Destroyer was paying. It was literally a tribute to Adam Cole.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
literally was, because he does the hands.
Is that why they did it so many times in the night?
So
Yeah.
well they called it like what was it? Was like they called it like the California Sunrise, like the fucking
he calls it the Panama Sunrise.
Well yeah,
California
but
Sunrise sounds sick too.
well yeah, but like they like changed the city for her. Like the Pittsburgh Sunrise is what it was.
Pittsburgh Sunrise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's
I
gonna
will-
be like her new signature now that Adam Cole.
But
I will
honestly, in my
say-
opinion,
I feel like that would be understandable. She can do that, and then she can go straight into lockjaw because she only has that one submission as her main finisher.
I mean, she could
Oh,
just
Raw's looking
roll the.
terrible.
I mean, she could just roll the Panama Sunrise into the lockjaw.
Lockjaw.
but honestly, in my opinion, I didn't really get the hype for the match that much, and like the Canadian driver into the curb stomp was cool, but like the rest of the match was kind of iffy for me.
I would say
Yeah, I'm gonna be-
it was good storytelling because like the hype package before it was the whole like Britt Baker getting in a wheelchair due to injury and then bloody came back, stayed relevant, became champion, and then I'm gonna kick this person's ass. You're not really from space. You're just a facade.
Yeah, I really did like when she was like, "You being a fucking alien is like whatever," she said, like a pile of shite
Yeah.
or something like that.
I do want to say I watched that match and I was muted and I just had to listen to everyone else in the call and it kind of the highlight of it was everyone talking about a certain person, how they look. So yeah, the curve stomp, the Canadian driver curve stomp was my most memorable point of that. Besides
Yeah.
everyone else
Yeah.
talking over it.
About
Alright, the next
about how
match,
big
I-
the fucking alien's ass was. Shut up.
That's what I'm talking about. That's all it
Shut
was. I was
up.
on mute. I'm eating dinner. And I want to talk because they just talk about the ass. And I was just like, I want to
So-
say something, but I'm eating.
More context to everyone. So whenever there's a major pay per view, we all watch it at the same time, so that we
Mhm.
all can say
Yeah.
our comments. And now we're gonna bring that towards this podcast.
I feel
So
I feel like I described the women's situation in AEW well. It's 2015 WWE female wrestling with Attitude Era looks.
yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
They're still trying to get their hands on like people. Like they've built up Britt Baker, yeah, sure, but they don't have many memorable women. Like yeah, you
Like
have
you,
Nyla Rose and
like
Riho.
like you
Matches
just
are
had
good.
21 women in a fucking battle royale, and only like
We'll get to that.
4 of them
We will.
like have
Battle
We will
stories.
get.
Gal. I
We
like how
will
you said that.
We will get to that. But the next match, in my opinion, this match was like fight
Match of the
wise.
night.
It took
Match of the
the
night.
match.
Hell
I wouldn't
no.
say match of the night, but I would say when it comes to the actual wrestling of the match, it
Yeah, I was
was
about to say call this
one of the
match of
most.
the night.
Yeah.
It
Is
was
this the steel cage match
it
we're
was
talking
the
about?
steel
Right?
cage match for the tag team championships, Young Bucks and Lucha Bros.
That is more than match of the night. That's match of the decade.
Yeah, it was.
That-
Because okay,
or match of the year. I mean,
I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do this. If you know what I'm talking about, that shit really had me
Yeah.
fucking cringing. It wasn't. It wasn't a like a
They got
cringe. Like it's
stuck in that.
bad. I'm talking
I
the
would
shoe
say
in the
that
head.
Like I knew it was gonna be a good match because
Yeah.
all the people in the match are good workers. Like I
Mhm.
remember watching Penta and Lucha Underground like a long time ago. I wasn't expecting it to be that good though.
like
Yeah.
keep in mind that like every single time the Lucha Bros and the Bucks have faced each other, it's been like a 5 or 6 star match. Not only
Mhm.
including the fact that it was about time for the Bucks to drop the championships, the Lucha Bros hadn't held the AEW titles yet, and the fact that it was just really good storytelling because they faced at Double or Nothing, they faced in the freaking ladder match that was freaking praised, and then they had this match. It was just it
I
was really well done on their
I
part.
I can definitely admit
Yeah.
that the highlight or like the biggest false finish, because there was a fuck ton of false finishes like that
Yeah, there
shit was just false
but
face
they were
city.
good ones.
The best one in my opinion was the one that it was after the double V trigger, and like fucking he fucking sprung up at like 2 7/5 and just fucking broke up the pin. That was
Like
definitely
that's one thing
Yeah.
that I can negatively say about this match, though, which is something I've realized when the
A
Young
lot of
Bucks
false
and Lucha Bros.
finishes.
Not the false finishes, it's the fact that they'll hit each other with like one of their main moves, like for example, freaking like Melter Driver and stuff. They'll go off and do something else, and then they immediately spring up to do something else. Like I get that it's
yeah.
a spot, but like it kind of doesn't really work with it. Where, for example, if I hit you with a freaking curb stomp, I go over to someone else, and then you immediately spring up and start hitting me again. It doesn't make that main
Right.
move meaningful anymore.
Right.
It's just like
And
it's
one of
just
the main things you were talking about a minute ago, like you said, oh, it was time for them to lose the titles, but at the same time, I don't remember if it was you or someone else in the call last night. You were like, if the Bucks lose the title, then Omega has to
will.
drop
Yeah.
the title.
no, that wasn't me.
But
Yeah, that
We
was
all
me.
it
said.
wasn't.
Yeah, that was me mostly.
I think that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I think.
I said
Which
there was no
which had me
plausible
thinking.
scenario where that would happen.
But it also makes sense for Kenny to keep the title for now because it does usher what happened at the end of the show. Because now everyone's going to be gunning
Which
for
we
Kenny.
can't spoil yet.
Shut up, everyone knows, but
Oh my
still, yeah, I
God.
get
Eat
it.
shit.
Like, but the thing was, I wasn't expecting Adam Cole to come there and you
Yeah.
know, the person who shall not be named
Oh my
because we don't
God.
want to spoil it.
I do want to
Committed.
say, I did like the. Was it the crossbody to all three of them? I did
Yeah.
like that spot. Like that was the most hyped
Yeah.
up crossbody I've seen.
Yeah.
Like a crossbody can be so boring, but that was just a hyped
And it was
crossbody.
I
also
mean, it was off the
really done
goddamn
well. It was
stage.
done really well, considering that the only other steel cage match was the one with Cody Rhodes, and he did the bloody backwards flip off of it, and he missed it.
I do have to
Ah.
say that I don't give much praise to that crossbody, only for the fact that if you pay attention enough, like you saw that they were waiting for like moments, like they were waiting for at least 5
praise to
seconds.
point.
Penta after that
But
match.
but I do want to say this. I didn't. This was my first like AEW event, to be honest, to watch fully out. And for me, I will say I was confused with the steel cage and how they do the steel cage. I didn't know it was via pinfall. I thought they could escape and win. But then I saw they could touch the ground while they were in the ring. There was enough space between the cage and the ring that you could touch the ground. So I didn't know that at the
If
time.
they
I was
wanted
like,
to make it different, because like the steel cage is immediately like WWE. Oh, there's no ground. Oh, you have to exit the thing. They want it to be different to make it high impact and
Mhm.
stuff. So there is still a pin.
I do have to say I like the cage, the separation between the cage and
Yeah.
the ring.
Because it's
I
not
feel like
too
that
big to make
adds,
it a Hell in a Cell. They're not. It's not too big
yeah,
to consider a Hell in a Cell.
I
As a
feel like that's
whole,
gonna add something.
they really did They really did pull off what it means to have a steel cage match.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
They
yeah.
Yeah,
utilized the
because
cage. They utilized weapons. They literally like did everything to one another.
And
and
it
I do
wasn't
want to
and
say, go ahead. Sorry, Ace.
it wasn't like how AEW doesn't constantly use match types like these, so it keeps the mystique,
Mm.
which is something a lot of these companies do well. They don't overuse match types.
Yeah, they make them meaningful.
Especially like every time you hear a ladder match in AEW, you know what it's going to be like. It's going to be like just amazing. Like, every single time they have that casino ladder match. They had it this year. That was a good ladder match.
I was on deafen. What match are we talking about now?
We're talking about Bucks
steel
versus
cage.
Steel
Rose.
cage stuff.
Oh, we're still talking about that. All right.
Yeah.
Bro,
So
bro, this is
I
a
would just like to
5-man
say-
fucking call. I don't need to bring up your goddamn hand like I'm in a stupid.
Yeah, I was
ass
gonna say,
fucking-
I'm literally about to tell people this man is literally like holding his hand up like it's elementary school.
I just want to say that that's how they used the steel cage felt like how WWE should use the Hell in a Cell as use
Yeah,
the
there
cage as an
was-
environment, as WWE uses it as, oh, it's just surrounding the ring, just
Yeah.
they're gonna work in the ring like it's a regular match. But this felt like the cage meant something and could be used properly.
Mm.
So I like how that you have to pin inside the cage because it gives the cage a meaning. Besides, oh, you just gotta climb the cage and win. That's it. That's only the thing the cage is used for. This was meant as an environment, finally.
Yeah.
So I did like that a lot.
I would like to say just before we move on, Penta deserves so much fucking credit because that man's face was so red. His mask was green at the beginning of that match. It was red afterwards.
Red.
Like,
Yep.
it looked like
Or
his eye was
It also
bloodshot too.
reminds
That
me- it
was the
also reminds me
definition of a crimson mask.
Yeah.
he was wearing two
Like, he
masks.
deserves so much credit.
And then
for
he
that
kissed his
match.
kid on the cheek, and I bet that kiss was a fucking bloody kiss.
Oh, it
That
was,
kid's
yeah, because it
fucking
showed that
got
like he,
PTSD now.
yeah, it showed that she had like a
Dumb.
blood on her cheek. It was the funniest shit.
It does kind of remind me of the first Double or Nothing when Cody's hair went from literal white to red because of the blood
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did watch Double or Nothing.
They're not afraid to bleed. They're not afraid to bleed.
No.
But
And
they
they
use
were
it at the right time.
Yeah, they're responsible.
Sean Spears.
over the top.
It's another thing too. I don't know if a lot of people know Nick Gage. The fact that they brought him into AEW is another thing too.
Also,
Nick Cage was in Lucha
also we
Underground, right?
forgot to mention, because you probably forgot as well. The Butcher came back in the very first match.
Oh yeah,
yes.
oh yeah.
the most
Doesn't say
casual
it on the
comeback.
website.
Wait,
But-
who's next? So I'm watching Raw. Someone's coming out. Lucha House Party. I forgot about them. Oh, wonderful.
Didn't
Okay, we're not talking
Vince?
about
Put their
Raw yet.
tag belts on someone.
That's
and
for another day.
lift them
Yeah, that's
up.
for another day.
Yeah,
No, I'm
that's
just
for
talking about
sure.
how bad Raw is right now. I'm watching this shit.
Yeah, but we're
Don't worry,
focusing.
you'll
We're
hear me-
focusing.
you'll hear me rant
We're
about
focusing on a good product. Okay.
I
Let's
know,
focus
I
on the
know.
good stuff right now.
Is next
So-
the Casino Battle Royal? Is that next? Correct.
Yeah, because the Women Casino Battle Royale, 21 women.
Couldn't
Okay,
focus
honestly-
the entire match because of Chad.
Okay, literally. Okay, you couldn't focus
Shut
for
the
other
fuck up.
reasons too. But did anyone actually pay attention to the match itself?
No.
I
Oh
did.
yeah, it was
Sky
it was
Blue.
it was
Sky
it
Blue.
was,
I watched
it was a good
I watched
it was a good
through it.
match.
Listen,
I
I'm
really
15. You shouldn't expect more than that from me.
At
I will
at the
say
very
that-
end with Ruby Soho and Rosa,
Mm.
and
like
Thunder Rosa.
That was a
great.
good back and forth. That was a good back and forth.
I
That was
I
good
pay attention
end
to
of the
that,
match, though.
but that's like it.
Because if you,
But
if you
I-
look at the contestants and stuff, like you have
In terms of actual
Thunder- you
wrestling, I
have
very
Thunder
much paid
Rosa,
attention to like the
you have-
ending bits of it at
literally.
the beginning.
You have Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, Riho, and stuff, and they split all of the memorable people up between the certain classes, so they're not like all of the memorable people first or all of the people on this suit. Like they span them out between the the 4 sets before the Joker. But I do have an unpopular opinion about how Ruby Soho was introduced. Like
It
she
should've been
was
Thunder.
a mid. she was a mid carder at best in WWE, and yeah, I get that you've brought her over and stuff, but she shouldn't have won that match because now you're immediately going to shoot her up to Britt Baker, who's one of the most over people in
I
the
mean,
company right now.
Wrestling. Not
but
even just women's wrestling, just wrestling in general.
Exactly.
Britt Baker is
So
so over.
there's literally two choices: either bloody Ruby Soho literally debuts, and the next match where she versus Britt Baker loses,
she's had over half a
or-
decade outside of WWE, so like she was already pretty popular in the Indies. So I guess it's more of
That's
like,
a good point.
I feel like we're
But
gonna have to build her up a little bit
yeah,
before she faces Britt Baker.
I mean, they did do good with Miro. I will say, mid Carter and WWE came to AEW and is working very well there. So there
Yeah,
could be hope.
they have
I
the
mean,
way for it. I just don't want them to pull the trigger so quickly.
it's like, but that's another thing too. Like that's how they keep introducing people into AEW. Give them a title match and drop them on Dark.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Like that's another reason why I keep saying a lot of people it's oversaturated because that's what's good. That's what happens to a lot of people if you're not a prominent name. Yes. As a whole, the company can grow right now, but there's things they need to watch out for and not do that WW did,
WWW did.
which WCW. So it's just like they're doing good. They're doing really good, but just don't play WCW.
Yeah. Do we have anything left to say about the Casino Battle Royal before we move on to the next match?
Sky Blue. No, there we go.
You mean
Fair enough.
Thickums?
Thickums and
Thickum?
Chad.
Yeah, a lot of thickums.
Thickums and Chad.
Moving on, let's go.
Yay!
Match
Was
was
it
the Never Wrestle Again match between Chris Jericho and MJF. Before we start,
Fuck MJF.
I did not like Chris Jericho's entrance. Like, yeah, I get it. It was his guitarist from Fozzy, but it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, wait. Before we talk about that though, fuck MJF for hyping us all up. You should have seen us in call yesterday when MJF's entrance was happening, and we're just like, oh my god, are they gonna bring back the theme and all this? Cause here comes Chris Jericho, and it's like the last match, and it's fucking MJF, and you're like, oh you fucker, oh
Man,
you're so good, you fucker.
But it gets him over. It gets him over as a bad guy.
Exactly. It's like, oh fuck you, but that was so good, but fuck you.
the best
Literally.
thing the best thing about that whole storyline is even in defeat, MJF looks so good.
Yeah,
You could
make him look powerful.
Yeah.
To be honest, you could put him in an AEW World Championship match right now, and it wouldn't be a bad thing.
I mean,
Like, that's
and even so, like people will say heel versus heel will be bad, but seeing Omega versus him would be disgusting because Omega's crazy and off his rocker with that gimmick, but MGF is like just cold and calculated. So that would be a very nice dynamic between those two.
I can't
What
wait till
can-
MJF wins AEW World Championship.
What I like about
I-
MJF is that even outside the ring, he maintains his kayfabe. He literally does
Yeah.
interviews with TV and stuff, and he literally is like poking fun and insulting the bloody interviewers themselves.
There
Like,
was
yeah,
a video.
for it, but like
There was
it
a
works
video of
well.
him. There was a video of him making fun of this. This was set up beforehand with his management team and stuff. MJF asked about this because this is a touchy subject, but he made fun of a kid in a wheelchair to do the heel gimmick, pretty much, and the kid went along with it and was fine with it. He was like, you know what I can do that you can't do?
Yeah, he stood up.
And he stood up. Yeah, but like that's how good MJF is. However, I do have a complaint with him. His fucking attire was shit yesterday.
I mean, he looked
Mm.
like the fucking Burger King. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's the
true.
issue.
Now that I think of it, I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong. But no, it was a
But
good link up because you honestly
it was
thought that MJF was gonna win.
yeah.
You honestly thought for a split second, oh
I
shit, MJF
literally
win.
when that 3 count happened and the foot was on the rope, I was like, oh, they're gonna screw Jericho over. That's it. He lost by a foot on the rope.
Because
Not being
let's be
seen.
real here. Chris Jericho is bloody what, like 40 something?
52.
I think is he? Yeah, 50s.
52, literally. And like he does commentary on AEW. He's good at commentary on AEWs and stuff. So it wouldn't be that far of a stretch for him to actually lose and go through commentary. Like it's a seeable thing
50.
to happen.
He's 50 even.
Yeah, it's 50. So like that kind of thing, like you could see, like some people. I was literally looking at some people on the internet, like they honestly thought MJF was gonna win, but then no, because Chris, like you can't really have a big AEW without Chris Jericho,
Yeah, they pulled a Dusty finish. They're like,
which is
Cat,
good because
kitty cat,
Dusty
cat,
is very creative in the way he did things.
kitty cat, 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 kitty, 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 cat.
Stop.
I just had to say that.
All right, next match.
Uh,
I feel like there's going to be a lot of opinions on this next match. Match number 8, singles match: the return of CM Punk versus Darby Allin.
how to properly use a veteran.
Yes. Like, yeah, he won, and Darby like didn't win, and technically the younger talent would meant to go over. But god damn it, CM Punk has not lost a beat.
It isn't the fact that that Darby Allin lost, is that he looked better at the end, because
mhm.
because it was for the
Shaking
fact that
Punk's hand.
yeah.
Yeah,
And they also
sorry.
kind of set up a Sting thing. Like he looked at Sting and like he slowly shook his hand. Obviously, Sting and CM Punk might fight in the future, but it's gonna be a match.
It needs to happen though right away. It can't be like a future. Like I get you're saying future, but like
They're
I'm saying
old.
like it needs to happen a time of like 6. It needs to happen like a year time because Sting's getting up there, yo.
Mm. And one thing I saw the second CM Punk entrance, I'm just like, oh god, he's wearing pants.
Yeah.
I
I'm not
liked it though.
it worked for him, but like since I'm so used to just seeing him with trunks,
I
it
did see him in shorts before, so
it was like very weird for me to see. I'm just like,
Mhm.
wait.
I mean, if you're familiar with him on the Indies from for a time,
Yeah.
he always used to wear trunks, not trunks, shorts and everything like that, and then he switched to wearing the whole gear style when he came to WWE around
Mm.
05, when 05, like early 2006, when he was doing the whole summer of Punk thing. But yeah, he's constantly changed his gimmick. But the thing about Punk's style is he's always changed it minutely. He's added a few moves here and there, but he's always had the same approach to wrestling: storytelling over actual wrestling, because that's really what's get wrestling over. Anybody can wrestle, don't get me wrong, but not everybody can tell a good story.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, like,
turnbuckle spot was so good. Where
yeah,
Darby Allin
That's
went
a
through the
you could tell that they
he just
trained.
threw his body on that shit.
You can
no,
tell that they trained with it, like heavily trained.
not even just to
Um.
mention the freaking electric chair position into
Uh.
the goddamn go to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Yo, but I want to bring up this pinfall that I saw. The Scorpion Deathlock type, like crossing the legs into the pin. I
Us
really
up there.
enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, like that roll up that he did. I want that in the AEW game. Please add that
Like
in.
I
'Cause
was
that
I
was
was
such.
happy. I was happy that CM Punk chose Darby Allin as his first match because Darby Allin is a young, charismatic, really good talent. That's why they put the TNT Championship on him so early in his career. But like he came
How
out
old is he?
he's like in his late 20s, early 30s, not even.
Wow, we got a while with
I
Darby
think I
Allin
think
then.
I think Crash is gonna check. But no, like he's a really good performer. He has a
28.
great gimmick. 28, yeah. Like
Yeah, we got a while with Darby Allin then.
and who knows? I feel like we might see a possible AEW World Champion on our hands with Darby Allin. He's a really good performer, great gimmick. Everything's really working for him, especially with the alignment with Sting. That's
I
definitely
like
gonna
this
help.
Sting alignment. Yeah, it kind of fits his character very
Like
well.
I wouldn't put it
If you ask me, that's what put him so over and highly above everybody else as singles competitor.
because it's not just a manager for Darby Allin. It's like a
It's
mentor.
a mentor.
It's the
Yeah.
icon.
I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't honestly wouldn't put past AEW to pull the trigger on Darby Allin and Sting winning the tag championships at some point.
I wouldn't mind. Do you think we're gonna get a Darby Allin Sting match in the future? Do you think?
Probably.
That would
Uh,
be that would be good because
I
as
would
long as
say
It's more or less depending on how AEW builds their tag teams, because we haven't really
Hmm.
seen a fully fledged like tag team destruction as commonly as WWE does it. Like they don't a fucking dime. So it's
I feel like they would only put Darby Allin versus Sting if that's Sting's last match. It's like the
Yeah.
protege that he's just built up would be the person to retire him.
Darby Allin
if,
like the retirement match. It's like Ric
it's
Flair versus Shawn Michaels type of motion to it.
Except he doesn't go to Impact and fight McFoley.
Yeah, for one match.
No,
something
no, 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 no.
something like that should be coming fairly soon though, because like
Sting's
How
pretty
Stinks
old
are
thing?
Sting
Sting's
is
like
old.
almost 60.
60s?
He's in his
He's almost
Late
60, I believe.
50s, early
Opening up,
60s?
opening this up again.
after Crash. Let's go.
Just after just keep Google up. Just keep Google
this
up for
point,
now.
yeah.
I do
He's
want to say
62.
62.
Yeah, he's 60.
I do want to say
Damn.
about the match. The ending back and forth between Allen and Punk. Like Punk goes to, like lift him up in like that slow GTA, he's about to hit it, and then Darby Allin just like takes him down when he's going down. He takes down Punk, and it's a good back and forth. And then he goes for the coffin drop, and Punk just does that sit up. That would
He
be an
pulls an
iconic sit up.
Undertaker.
I promise you
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that would be an iconic sit up in wrestling history. Is that
And
Punk sit up for the coffin
It was a
drop?
creative way to counter it because, like, most counters, like in other industries, if someone's gonna do like a top thing, like you immediately, what's the first thing that they do? They immediately put their knees up or they counter it into some submission. But no, this was just quite simple.
I feel like that kind of also blended with the story because
Mm.
the fact like he was like taunting like no fucking you thought like I know
Yeah.
better than that.
Back and it was a good. It was it really set up a ending like. It was a whole different feel than like you were saying the knees up. Like if Punk like moved out of the way, that'd be so boring. But Punk just he technically did move out of the way, but he sat up, and it was a different form of moving out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a new and creative way of doing that, which is
He's
really
Samoa
well
Joe in
done.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I said it.
I
I
got
thought it
half
was
the
one.
brains that you do.
Like it
I just have to
showed
say that.
that entire match was basically to prove that Punk still had it and that he is really happy and at home in AEW. And I
And
believe that it did well in that
I
department.
full blown
and
doubted
it
him, man. I'm not
shined
gonna lie to you.
and it shined Darby Allin as a star as well. So it worked out for both competitors.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fail. Like Darby Allin doesn't go down now, and oh, he's not as good as he like was, and then like,
And
there's no difference here.
I know for a fact that like how they've handled CM Punk and with the promos that he's said, he's just not gonna go straight to freaking like a title match or anyone, or he's not gonna go to
Mm-mm.
like Daniel Bryan or anyone from WWE. He literally said in his promos, "I want to verse the newest and the youngest talent, the people who had the fire that I
Brian
used
Pillman
to."
Jr.
So he might be going
Okay,
to.
okay.
Who knows? I
I'm
wouldn't. I
sorry I
wouldn't.
have to keep leaving call. I'm very
Yeah, it's
sorry.
fine.
Oh,
I'm
good.
back again.
That's
Are we
fine.
still on Punk match?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was just about to say, like, I can see Punk versing Orange Cassidy, Jungle Boy, and like all the other younger
Punk
talents.
versus
That, like,
Cassidy would be really great.
exactly.
Pillman
You know, I'm-
Jr. I am a Pillman Jr. I like Pillman Jr. a lot, so I would love to see Punk versus Pillman Jr.
Like the thing is,
Because
I got exactly what I expected from Punk in that match. Like I didn't expect a 5-star classic wrestling match because that's not what Punk does. But
Mm.
it was really good. Like I expected it to be. He can still, go when he needs to go.
Yeah.
The tights
Because-
put me off a little bit. It was a little strange. I think they look good, but it is strange. Okay,
I
seen a
do
lot
want
of
to
people who
say
are talking about they don't like them, but I think they look good. And I want to see what designs they do for them. But it was off-putting.
I do want to say CM Punk looked really buff. He looked more buff than he did in WWE. I'm gonna be
I think
honest. Like
that
his shoulders were like really
Yeah.
bulky. It was really
I mean, he was doing MMA training.
UFC.
for a bit,
Yeah,
UFC training.
but
I
he
mean,
looked
he-
very.
In my opinion, he looked a lot better in his UFC matches, not just physically, but just sexually. Fuck.
Wait, what? Hold up. Do you want my Among Us hat?
No.
Because you're
have-
kind of looking
I
kind of
have-
sussy.
I
Okay,
have
hold on.
several questions.
I would like to say though, I think he is gonna go back to tights soon. I think like he's just I don't remember what someone called it, like chicken leg or something. Like his legs look all weird right now. He used to do squats or something to get him back to what they were,
Yeah,
and then
right.
he'll go back to tights.
Time will tell. And yet again, it is just gear. Like, it's not
Yeah.
that.
It's no
It's not
big
even like-
deal.
And
If
I
it's
like the
comfy- if
gear.
it's comfy
I
for
liked the gear in the
him-
match, so I didn't mind. But
Yeah,
I
if
know
it's
some people
comfy-
do.
The entire thing is, if it's comfy for the wrestler, then it works. We just have
Yeah.
to deal with
I
it.
mean, he was still wearing them in like when he was talking to media, so he must like them.
Well, I will say there's an entire I want to talk about Moxley and WWE. I didn't like the jeans with Dean Ambrose, but whole different
Just wrestling
conversation.
in jeans in
Yeah,
general.
we can talk about that
Yeah.
when we do the Raw and SmackDown podcasts.
Or just a random podcast.
We're
I
gonna
do
need
wanna-
AfterCrash for the next Google search because soon
Well-
we're gonna be moving on to the next match.
Well, I do want to talk about something real quickly. I wish CM Punk came out with Living Color doing his theme song. That is one thing I wish would have happened.
Are the people in the band even still alive?
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So they could have done like that would have been more hype for
I
me to
feel
be
like they're gonna
honest.
save it for a bigger match.
Yeah, they'll
For
probably
a
save it
title
for a
match.
It's probably save
Maybe
it
a
for
title
a
match,
another
or maybe like even a couple years down the road, maybe when Punk does a
I'm
retirement match,
just saying,
because Punk's going out on his back in a couple years. I think
in
he can
Punk,
wrestle at most till he's 45,
I get that everyone wants
45,
Punk as
46.
world champion soon.
He
They
doesn't
want
need
this
to
to
be.
happen.
I
But
want
I
it to
feel like
happen, but I don't think it needs to be.
I think you can hold out a whole year, 1 year of Punk in AEW, and then you can start putting him in world title type matches. I feel like I want a year of build of him versus stars, showing off talent for a year,
Yeah.
and then put him in world title.
Here's the thing. Here's what I think should happen. I think he should do like your thing, and then when he wins the belt, he has like a really long run with it, like really long, and has just a bunch of good matches with people, and then
And
he
something
has
we
like his
talked about,
career on the line and
something
loses.
we talked about for the world title match last night when we were watching. Christian Cage, if Christian Cage won it, we wanted him to do open challenges. What if we get Punk doing open challenges for like not weekly, but like
Every
we
once in a
get
while,
an open
like on
challenge. So
Dynamite.
we can
That would be
we can get
cool.
Darby Allin in the AEW World Championship title
I mean,
like picture.
how many matches do you say he was supposed to wrestle every year?
Like
10,
10 to
11 to
12 minimum.
Yeah, 10 to 12.
Yeah.
10 to 12 minimum.
So
That's not the
so
maximum he can do. That's just
there's
the
only
minimum.
there's only one title that would benefit that schedule, and that's the World Championship.
Exactly.
Because him having the
And
TNT championship just wouldn't work.
So because
and
because
also
the TNT Championship is basically their television title in a sense.
Yeah.
Right.
I do want to say about Punk is like I feel like he should build up Young Stars for a while now. And with the
He
10 to
should
12
what?
matches, build up Young Stars. And look, we're taking a month off. There's no pay-per-view for AEW next month, correct? It's
The-
November is the next one.
If November's
They-
the next one, yeah, Full Gear.
So if you're gonna give him the world title and you have those breaks between months with pay-per-views, open challenges happen that month when there's no pay-per-view happening. But
So
this is a what if scenario. This is for later
Yeah,
on in
again.
Punk and
Yes.
AEW. We
My,
are
the
just
only thing
we're-
I have is
I
like
think we're
you
just
have to be really careful who he does and doesn't lose to.
yeah,
this is the
definitely.
longest match
Just
that we're gonna talk
really
about
careful with
is
that.
this is the longest match we're gonna talk about is because we're just hyped to see CM Punk back in wrestling.
I still
If he was in WWE, we'd be spending like a whole hour talking about what ifs for Punk. So it's gonna
Yeah.
happen either way.
Yeah.
great.
Well, we should probably
It's
move
about- I think
on
it's-
at this
I do
point
yeah,
because
we
I
should
feel like
probably move
we're.
on.
back to
So
WWE, though.
we need AfterCrash on Google because I'm about to ask how friggin' old Paul White is. But
Fit
the
49.
match with Paul White. Huh?
49. 49.
Jesus, he already had that up.
Jeez. It's Paul White versus QT Marshall.
It was a squash
It
match.
was-
No one gives a
It,
shit.
it was a squash match, but it was done right. It wasn't too
Yes.
massive. It wasn't just a knockout punch and then a pin.
It
Right.
showed Big
It
Show
took
can
up
still
enough
do it.
time to like
Yeah.
calm down the crowd.
Like it shows that
It-
he's still like agile and he can still do stuff in the match. And I do believe that the
As
match,
agile
being-
as he can get.
I do like how it was placed after CM Punk and before Kenny Omega and Christian Cage because it's like a way to settle down the crowd and get them hyped again for the next match.
Right, because it's
was
a
a
very
really-
important part.
Yeah,
of
it was
the
a
And
really
match,
I
'cause you
will
want the
say
crowd to be
the-
invested.
I will say with this match, I feel like this could show that Big Show. I'm not saying world title, but it can show that he
Oh,
can
no,
be.
definitely
a,
not.
no, definitely not. TNT champion, perhaps, maybe.
I could see
never
that.
be champion because he's
But like,
a
Not
backstage
even like a quick run with.
yeah,
like, a
that's what
couple
I'm saying.
times with
Like,
the
it's
TNT
like
championship.
giving Triple. It was like giving Triple H the WWE Championship a few years ago. It didn't feel right. Like it
No,
happened.
But like, it didn't
If you-
feel wrong either.
If you told
No.
me that he had to be a champion, I'd probably put him on a tag with someone.
Yeah, I agree with that. You can
He
give
could
him a
do a
young guy to
tag.
work with.
Anything but the world title.
Yeah.
Or-
there's no way he'd be a world championship.
The Women's Championship, Paul White. I'm kidding.
No.
Uh,
But no, it
but
was
no,
Paula White,
it was a good match. It got him over, but
Pauline White.
I feel like they pulled the trigger too fast because literally like 2 months ago he was into AEW and then literally 2 months later he's a wrestler now. But
My least favorite part about the build up to that match was them showing his ass on TV.
Yeah.
Also, this show.
I will
didn't
say
even see
this.
Big Show's ass.
I feel like like a big match that Big Show will have. Sorry, Big Show Paul will have before he retires is the Shaq match. I feel like they can get Shaq versus Paul as like one of his big one final matches.
Who
I do
wins?
hope that if they're gonna do this same thing like what they did with Paul White with Mark Henry, that they don't pull the trigger as fast as they did with Paul White. I don't think they're gonna do it with Mark Henry either, because I don't think they're gonna have the two big guys come back at their
I
age.
would love to see Mark Henry fight. I would love it. I would love though. I'm gonna be honest. Have a really great match with a young guy and start
The
working.
thing is, like in his later years, he could still wrestle Mark Henry. The Creative just didn't do anything with him.
I feel
Yeah.
I
Like,
feel I
he
feel
could
like it would
wrestle
be a
his typical
good
power style.
I
And it was
I feel
really
like it would be
weird.
a good like build up for like Big Show versus Miro
Yeah.
and have
And
like
it was
Miro
really
go
weird
over.
too because like he did the whole Hall of Pain thing and that got him really over, and then they just didn't do
Drop
anything
him.
with him.
And okay,
Completely.
the fake retirement
The
speech
fake
was pretty
retirement.
dope.
Oh
Though.
my god, that was so amazing.
Mm. But no, there's nothing much
Like,
to say on that match because it was really quick. It was like
It-
a
A
5
squash match.
and the
Who
whole
even
point of
was
it
the
was
other guy?
on the top.
That's exactly. Who did he face?
He faced
QT
3
Marshall.
guys. He literally faced
Yeah.
It was I didn't even know it was a handicap. I thought
It
it was
wasn't.
a
It wasn't
Yeah,
meant to be.
it wasn't. No, it just dissolved down to it, but it's whatever.
Basically, yeah. But main event after that, you have Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the AEW.
Honestly, this is an underrated match only because of how everyone's talking about the finale.
Yeah, honestly, Christian Cage had a really great match.
It was
Well,
it,
I mean,
it,
what-
it was very physical. Like I hope that his back is okay after breaking through that fucking table and then the metal bar just went right
Oh,
into
the
his
table
spine.
spots were amazing.
Mm.
A good homage to Edge with the spear through the table. Also,
Even
Think about
like,
it like this. For the ending, though, it
Mm.
took a top rope, one-winged angel to finish Christian Cage.
that
That
shows
makes
that
him look
Christian
so
Cage.
strong.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. It shows Christian Cage can fight and he can keep up with anyone.
Well, it's for the
Those two
fact
had a
that
really
like
good
they're like well, it's also for the fact that the one-winged angel is always like protected. So no matter what, whenever he hits it, he will lose. It's just that it made Christian look better because because it made Kenny resort to a top rope instead of just a standard.
yeah.
All right, question real quick because you're talking about that. Who would be the first superstar to kick out of that move,
No one.
or has it already been done?
No one.
No one. No one.
There was like 2 years ago, like
I think it was Okada.
I think it was
wasn't
Okada with the leg on the rope. That was the only time anyone's ever
Anyone
gotten
has
out.
ever
Yeah,
done
anyone
that's
got-
on the rope. That's pretty much a rope break. So yeah.
Rope break
Major
will be the
difference.
only way, in my opinion, to get out
Kick
of the
out of
one-wing
a
angel.
one-wing.
But those have to be once a fucking like year to like
Because keep
even.
in
It
mind,
has to be
like, I think that's the one thing that Kenny has always made sure of. Like he wrestled all over the world. Even his biggest time in New Japan, there was never a chance in hell that someone would break clean out of a one-winged angel. The only reason he lost matches is because he couldn't pull off the one-winged angel, and then he brought that into AEW. It helps with him. But what I was gonna say
the
before,
only way someone would kick out would be like his final match, and that's how he loses. Someone actually kicks out of it, and then like does that. But that's like you're gonna wait like 10, maybe 15 years for that to happen. Like we got what's Omega's age?
I'm checking.
Yep, there it is. There it goes.
And what's Christian Cage's age too? I have to ask that one as well for later.
I
Like,
40 something.
Yes,
I think
Yeah.
Kenny Omega's about 38.
Kenny is
Christian
37.
Cage-
He's 37.
Christian
Damn.
Cage could honestly win the AEW
He's
World
47.
Championship still.
47.
Christian Cage,
Yeah.
he could still win the world title to be honest.
He has to put
Like-
over. He has to put over somebody else first in a different promotion before he
Definitely.
does that.
Impact.
Yeah, because he already has the Impact Championship, and that's what I was gonna press on. Is literally a month before this, they versed for the
Impact
Impact Championship that Kenny held, and Christian won that. That match alone was a good match, and it showed their chemistry and how they could wrestle well together. And then basically duplicating that and making it more interesting for this pay per view made the match really enjoyable. But like Crash said, it is overshadowed because of the ending.
And
You know what's so funny?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say we should probably transition into the ending.
Well,
Where to
let Ace go. Let
start?
Ace go. Ace
So-
go. What were you gonna say?
Kenny
Ace was gonna say something.
Kenny Omega actually trained under Christian for a
Christian
little
Cage.
bit when he was in Canada under his younger years.
Yeah.
That honestly I like Christian Cage a lot as a wrestler for a while now.
Yeah.
All right, so the ending.
So the
Kenny
ending, I
hits
want
the
to, I want
one
to
win,
paint out, I want to paint out
the
the
one
ending.
win angel off the
Off
top.
the top, and then he pins it and wins.
1, 2, 3.
The Young Bucks and the Good Brothers come out with Don Callis, and they all mix
Beat down
together.
Christian.
They start beating down Christian, and then Kenny takes the mic and says that there is no one else that can ever defeat me for this belt because they're either A, don't work here, B, they're already tied, or C, they are already dead.
And then the lights
And
go
I
out.
do have to say one though real quickly. He brought up best in the world, and that got me thinking: are they really gonna push Punk this fast?
No.
Because he brought up, I'm the best in the world right now." I was like,
No, they can say that
Is
now
it-
because they have Punk in AEW, so now everyone's gonna go, okay, they can say that crap now. But the second he says they are already dead, lights go out, everyone's expecting Bryan Danielson, and then you hear Adam Cole's music hit, and then he comes out to a massive.
and you're like, he's gonna. Or wait, did this happen before they Jungle Boy and all them ran down to the ring? Was
They
before
ran
the
down to
lights
try
went
to
out?
help Christian Cage, and then they all got.
And then they got beaten down, and then the speech happened. Lights go out. Adam Cole.
He
The
walks into
minds.
the ring, literally opposing them. He hits his Adam Cole baby, and then Jungle Boy
He
stands up,
beats down.
He just
super
super
kicks
kicks
Jungle
him.
Boy, and then he hugs everyone. He does the iconic kiss with the Young Bucks, which obviously is reference to that Adam Cole used to be in the Bullet Club. He used to be a part of the Elite. He won the Never Always 6-man tag team championships with the Bucks back in Ring of Honor.
In Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So he even brought back his old catchphrase of "Who's ready for story time with Adam Cole?"
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say we were talking about the faction belt earlier. Put Adam Cole with the Young Bucks with that belt, and that can be fine if you have Kenny as the world champion. You can have Adam Cole be world champion, but I would rather have him have that faction belt with the Young Bucks.
I am happy
That's
that
just
Adam
me though.
Cole is in AEW now because, like, yeah, he
get-
did amazing stuff in NXT. Like, no doubt of that. He did phenomenal work in
Gargano Cole.
He was
Is
it.
that-
the Undisputed
He
Era,
was
everything.
he was the golden black of NXT.
Yeah, but
And
now
honestly, his last match of how he went out in WWE was pretty good too. Like
Yeah,
that's
he
how
put
good
over
Adam
his-
Cole is.
he definitely did
He
that
put
on his
over
own
his best
accord.
friend.
He definitely did that on his own accord because in real life, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, they work together in Ring of Honor. They are good friends, but not as good as friends as Adam and Bucks are. So he really jumped ship.
Do we think Bobby Fish is going to debut in AEW now?
Probably.
Not in
Bobby
not in-
Bobby Fish is retired.
Is he going to retire? Okay.
He may come out of retirement for like one match or anything, but he's definitely not gonna fully join or anything like that.
Did he fight in Ring of Honor before he get
Yeah,
in?
he was in Ring of Honor. He was in New Japan. He was everywhere. He's a world traveled veteran.
Yeah.
Honestly, have him have a retirement match or like one more match in Ring of Honor in New Japan.
But
Don't bring him back to WWE.
what's good about Adam Cole being in NXT is the fact that he works so well with the Bucks and Kenny. Like even like since I'm in Australian time zone and they're an American, I watched the newest episode of Being the Elite, and they're like, since in the last episode of Being the Elite that Adam Cole was in, he died quotation marks so he could go off to WWE.
Is that the thing? They posted it on Instagram of Adam Cole laying on the ground, shirtless,
That was him
like, covered in
dying.
like liquid and shit.
That was
And then
him
it.
dying.
Yeah,
So,
hold on. I gotta pull it
in-
up. I got
in
turn
this
off Raw.
episode,
Fuck
in this
Raw.
episode of Being the Elite, the newest one, they had like this ritual and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, bring back Adam Cole. Oh, hey, oh, why. So then they brought him back. So now he's back in Being the Elite. So that's where he's at now. But
And
not
then-
only the fact of all of that, but he can wrestle with more talent, and also the fact that he is now in the same promotion as his actual real life girlfriend, Britt Baker.
All right,
I do want to say.
What are we talking about now?
Is he gonna be on up, down, down still? Yes or no?
Probably.
We don't know.
All right. What's all we talking about? We talking about Adam Cole.
Adam
Adam
Cole, yes.
at the moment.
Alright.
I don't know because right now Tyler Breeze is no longer in WWE and he's still being featured on Up Down Down. I feel because
Up,
Up
Down,
Down
Down
Down isn't owned by WWE. It's owned by
Is like Xavier who owns it.
So he obviously WWE would advise him not to, but yet again, at the end of the day, it is his call.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I don't think they would get rid of him, but I don't think he'll be on it
Wouldn't
as
be
much
surprised.
as he normally do.
I'd be
I don't
surprised.
know. It all depends. Honestly, it can go either way.
But after
Okay,
story
just
time with Adam Cole,
And Cole, he does say, the Elite is the most dominant faction, yada yada. There's no one else that can oppose us. And immediately you
Fly the
hear
Valkyries.
Brian, yes, Fly the Valkyries with a new remix version.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
everyone-
that shit hit.
fucking
That
trap remix.
yeah, that shit
That was
remix
sick.
was hitting, bro.
So he
Take a
comes
time
out.
machine, go back to the 1800s and show that to people.
May I reference the fact that when Bryan Danielson went to the ring in his sideways bloody run thing that he normally does, he didn't yes chant at all.
He
Not
put his
once.
arms to the side. Not in
Yeah,
the-
we were all chanting yes and call, but man, it hurt when he didn't hit the yes chant.
I don't
Because
think
I
they're
don't
legally
think he
able to.
can.
I don't think they're legally able to.
The fans can, but
Yeah.
Fans can, but he can't technically because
Which
WWE still
sucks.
has that right.
sucks hard.
It's
Similar to the
literally a
Fans.
word yes. Like I'm not sure why it needs
And a
to be.
gesture.
Copyright the
gesture.
word yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
can.
Then they should be suing the NHL right now because the New York Islanders, one of their things chant is doing the Daniel Bryan yes. Why aren't they suing the NHL right now? AEW can do this.
Well, they
Honestly,
wouldn't
they
be
can.
suing the NHL. They'd be suing the Islanders.
May I point out that it's just maybe my opinion of what I saw, but Bryan Danielson looks more buff than he did in WWE.
Yes, he did.
I know.
He looked-
I noticed that.
He
Wait,
looks
Now, question:
ripped.
is he gonna be
lean.
wearing the maroon gear? Yes or no?
Maybe.
Was it-
Well, it's also
Yes,
for the fact he's
maybe.
buffer
I don't
because
know.
he hasn't been on
I
since
don't
like
know because like
April or
again, Punk came out with
May.
different attire, so you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, he might go back to his freaking his American Dragon gear, where it wasn't really like the whole kick
Right.
pad thing. It was just like it
So
was like the red trunk.
Kenny Omega posted. Hold on, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see.
No,
Kenny
we
Omega
can't see
posted
it.
the
while,
Adam
while
Cole.
you're finding that, I would like
Yeah.
to say Adam Cole's just the reason both debuts were
just
great
put in
wasn't
chat,
just
just put in
because of
chat.
who they were. Is that
All right, I'll send you in chat.
Cole was great because we were expecting Bryan Danielson, and then
Yeah,
Danielson
exactly.
because we weren't expecting another debut right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
literally
Cole
said.
was
I
amazing
literally
because there were
said.
still talks that he might come back to WWE,
I
which is
Yeah, they
just
offered-
I
I saw
also
that happened that quickly.
I saw today that WWE offered him a contract, a big one, and he still
Ooh,
went to AEW.
that's- that makes it look
I also
bad.
remembered that Daniel Bryan's is most likely going for the gold, mostly because
Makes
of
sense.
his like post show talk compared to CM Punk because
Mhm.
CM Punk was more of like to build people up.
New stars.
Daniel
Okay,
Bryan
but, like-
commented on that. He's like, I'm just gonna beat the fuck out of people.
I mean, how
Yeah,
can you
Daniel,
not
Honestly-
Bryan
have
Danielson swore
Bryan
in his after match thing, and
championship?
it shocked
Yeah.
me. It
Yeah.
shocked
I
me.
have a question. Who's the one to beat Omega?
It might be
I
Danielson.
I could see
It
Danielson.
might be Danielson.
Cause
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad with that at
they're
all.
pretty similar in age.
I would be
Brian's
perfectly
40.
fine
You
with
have
that.
you have such a long time to. You have a whole month and like
To
2
build
weeks
up
into a month
really good
to
match.
build up this feud, so you could
Here's
do
the
it.
thing, though. If they do that match, if they do it full gear, Bryan Danielson versus Omega, which I think they will do, I think you have Omega retain, but like with
Yep,
interference.
that's what I was about to say.
Interference. You don't have him win clean,
I would actually
but
wouldn't
you
put
make
it
it
past him if
clear
they
that
triple
like he's
threat
kind
it.
of losing his grip on the title.
I wouldn't put it too fast past them to make it a triple threat. Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, and someone else. That way,
Hangman
there'll be
Page?
more of a threat to him than
Yeah.
Hangman Page?
not Hangman Page because Hangman Page is busy.
No, I think
defending
you
Dark
have to have it as the one-on-one because I don't
Why
want
not Adam?
Omega
Why
to,
not
I
put
don't
Adam?
want Omega to win clean. I want him to start
Dude,
like slowly
A-
realizing he's
Adam
losing.
Cole is a
All I'm
fresh heel. I wouldn't see him change within a month.
I don't want. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want him in the world title picture for a while now
Maybe
because there's
take
so
him
many
off
guys
TV
I
for a
want.
bit.
I want in the world title picture before Cole right now. I love Adam Cole, but like
Give
I'm
him some
saying,
time.
you have Punk,
No.
you have
Punk versus Cole, that's
Danielson.
another match.
Cole
Actually,
is
they could
gonna
do that
do what
match
he did in
next.
NXT. Cole's gonna do when
Hangman
he's.
Page.
What was the first championship in NXT that Adam Cole won?
North American
Team
Championship.
North American Championship. So he's probably
TNT.
gonna go TNT.
Okay, that could work.
Or
They
the,
have the Miro.
the fraction belt that we were talking. If they do a 6-man belt,
If it is that belt.
if it
If
is,
that's what it is.
Adam Cole is the perfect guy to hold that belt.
Yeah.
He is the staple. Like in my mindset, if you tell me he's the
Or
leader
it could be
of
a
a
mixed
of a
belt. Maybe.
Got it.
I
Throwing it out there.
One of my friends was talking to me the other day, and he's like, "What's the thought of putting a mixed gender championship?"
That could be
Adam Cole and
interesting.
Britt Baker. Adam Cole and Britt Baker
that-
for life.
Like mixed gender, as in a tag title for both genders, or like
No,
the
not a
that
tag
can go
title.
between
It's
both?
it's a one singles title that
So
any
like how China won like the IC title,
kind
and
of.
technically there's no gender.
Would it be like a
limit, they just don't do it.
24/7 belt where
It wouldn't
anyone
be
can?
24/7. It would just be a It's basically a belt that gives
I
the.
mean, it wouldn't be bad.
Did
to
it
have, like,
impact? Did it Impact do a few years ago a man versus female match?
Tessa
Correct?
Blanchard versus
Your
Sami
mom.
It was such a.
Callahan.
It had controversy behind it. I
Your
remember
mom.
that.
It was
It
was a
was
good
so
match.
funny. That was so funny for the 100th time.
I wouldn't
think
put it
they're,
past
like-
them that if they were to do a mixed gender thing, that they would put it on Nyla Rose. That way, Nyla Rose can verse someone like Miro.
I mean, who's like the big like jobber in AEW?
Your
Fuego
mom.
del Sol.
That's so funny. I'll bust out Shane McMahon jokes now.
Oh my god.
No.
Stop with the
no,
your mom
no,
jokes then.
No,
Jesus Christ.
no.
No, but I'm saying just have like some local talent come in and get destroyed by Nyla Rose for the mixed gender champion, like the championship.
Okay,
we're
but
talking about.
like with how many you were talking about it before, call, but like the roster, someone was talking about it, like the roster's too oversaturated, and there's like a lot of guys who aren't getting screen time like on Dark. So
Yeah.
like a 24/7 type championship, or like a championship that's defended on Dark or Dynamite every week might
A
not be a bad
weekly,
idea.
yeah, a
weekly
weekly.
championship.
And
It's
it's
like
an
a
open challenge, so you get guys on
permanent
TV
open
who have, like,
challenge.
10 minutes at most match.
Because
Yeah,
look,
like
because
just make it
And
John
every
Cena's
once in a while,
open
like, if you
match.
have a really good
Just make
match
it
with
John
someone that
Cena's
gets over-
US belt as the actual title now.
Right, and if you have like a match that gets over really well, like they notice that it does, you can turn that into a feud
Mhm.
between these two
Yeah,
people.
I agree.
Because
Honestly,
then
I
that
think
gets
that
some of
could
the
work
guys
well.
who've been stuck on Dark more.
But if
time
you're gonna
on
do a
TV.
mixed tag, I have a question now actually about Bryan Danielson. So if you guys want to talk about the belt real quick, you go ahead, and I have a Bryan Danielson question.
I mean, I don't think there's enough
Yeah.
like teams for that to work, or potential teams for that to work. Besides, because the only one I can think of is Britt Baker and Adam Cole.
So I was gonna bring up the fact we're talking about couples now in AEW. Can Brie Bella be ringside at an AEW event
Brie
No,
Bella is still
no.
technically signed to WWE.
with WWE?
I
That's
thought
what
she
that's what I
was
had to
like-
ask. I had to ask that question.
But
Can she show up ringside to support Danielson?
No.
And Brian is
Um,
saying that she will not do anything AEW because she's currently happy with the deal because
I mean, I
there's
don't
also
think they
some
can,
marketing
'cause
stuff
I
with it.
remember I'm like, obviously I wasn't watching wrestling at the time, but I heard about it. Like the Viking Raiders or something, like during Mania, they weren't booked, but they were in the area. They went to an Impact show and they showed them on TV, and that got them fired from the company. So I don't think they would let
No,
them.
yeah, they got like suspended for that or something.
No, they got straight fired. They got cut. For,
Yeah, then they came
for showing
back.
up on Impact. Or like on TNA, what it was called. at the
Yeah,
time.
because Impact was a bunch of assholes and they cut right to them.
Yeah. They were like, look at these guys that aren't part of our company. Let's get them fired.
But it is what it is. But
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, but
definitely
how
lot
much
of
would it
talk.
affect Brie Bella to get fired from? Oh wait, she would lose her show. Never mind. It's fucked.
It would lose both their shows, but also the fact that I don't think Brie would show up in AEW and make that an angle because, like AfterCrash said,
No, I'm not saying
she's-
an angle. I'm just saying ringside as a
And, like-
fan, just sitting
like,
there
in the-
supporting her
like,
husband.
it will create a lot of buzz. If that,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
that's enough to get the the Viking Raiders fired.
I don't know if they could fire her for that, for appearing in the crowd, but she probably would get in trouble.
She would have
It's
to be.
it's
She would
kind
have
of-
to. She
it's kind
couldn't.
of a gray
She
area.
couldn't be ringside. She couldn't be ringside. She would have to be so far away up in this like
The-
a booth
in the
or
fucking
some shit.
rafters where
In the back,
know,
she would have to be.
garbage
Yeah,
She
were.
she would
can't
have
be
to
seen
be-
on TV.
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
in the back, similar to how Becky was for Seth.
hmm
But
Didn't WrestleMania 30 Kevin Owens he wasn't signed yet. I don't think he was signed yet with WWE. WrestleMania 30 he was in the crowd actually, but they had to keep him like off in the
on
crowd.
TV.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he was a big indie star, but they couldn't show him on WWE yet. And then he
It's
showed
really
up, and then he
understandable.
kicked ass because Kevin Owens was cool like that.
Yeah.
But no,
He
this was
showed
a
up,
very
kick
big
ass.
show. This was a
He
very big
showed up.
show. It was really good.
We
top
should
to
all
I think this is best show of the year so far. Best
okay.
show in a long
So
time. Best show
I
I've
think we
watched
should
in a long time.
all. I think we should all go here. We should all say favorite match of the night and rate the pay per view out of 5.
5 stars.
Or
5
should we do
stars.
10? 5 or 10?
We'll do 10 because we're not Dave Meltzer.
Okay.
Yeah, we're better than Dave
We're
Meltzer.
better than Dave Meltzer. So we'll start with AfterCrash. AfterCrash, what you thinking?
Favorite match and also
Favorite match,
uh,
Steel
what you
Cage,
rating.
rating 10/10.
Damn.
Okay.
For
Go ahead.
Favorite match of the night, I would say, was Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander. I'm definitely giving it a 8 out of 10.
The pay per view an 8 out of 10.
Pay per view 8 out of 10, only because of some of the stuff at the start that was a bit iffy.
So my match of the night was probably the Punk Darby Allin match because it was my most hyped up match for that event. It might not have been the greatest match, but I'll give the event a 9 out of 10. My one complaint is Bryanson's introduction. It felt I liked it, but it felt too generic a little bit for me. I feel like the lights could have went out a second time, and here comes Danielson. That would have been cooler, but it's whatever. I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
All right, Ace, what you thinking?
Honestly, I would give it 8.5 out of 10.
What was your favorite match?
What's your favorite match?
Favorite match? Darby Allin versus CM Punk.
Yep.
All right.
Simply because it was just great.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Favorite match for me
DJ
was-
Khaled, get up in here.
was definitely Punk versus Darby. It wasn't the best like actual match for me. That was the tag title match, but I was way more emotionally invested in the Punk match just because how much I like CM Punk, how much a fan I am of him.
What's your
So
rating?
I had more emotionally invested and just kind of nervous to see if he could still wrestle. So when I found out that he could, I was really happy about that. So that's my match.
Mhm.
And I give the show 10 out of 10 just because I haven't watched a show this good in a long time. Like the last few shows I watched were WWE shows and they were just like pay-per-views or eh. So I haven't seen a show that was like really had me excited in a
Don't
long
raise your
time.
fucking hand. We're in a goddamn call.
Like, I just gotta say something about the CM Punk Darby Allin match. What made it great was both competitors came out on top. That's all.
Yeah, and they also
You
did
are
show
a
some
fat
like
ass.
respect to each other after the match, which is good.
God, I'm like the most hated one here.
Yeah.
Even though there was like a
Yeah,
chance
you
for
are.
maybe Sting to do a Scorpion Death Drop on Punk for a minute. There was a chance he could do that, but he didn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
is
Do you
Punk
think-
gonna bring back the elbow?
Oh, Pepsi
Did
plunge.
Punk what?
The Pepsi,
The
plunge.
Pepsi
Just
plunge.
Shut the fuck up.
Pepsi plunge.
I still
You
want it.
think-
Fuck you.
So
Do
do
you
I.
think
It'd
we're
be
gonna
funny.
see a
I'm
Punk
the most
Sting match?
man. I'm the most hated one here. Jesus Christ. I'm
Are
sorry.
you guys ready to
Jeez.
hear Brian Danielson? Are you
Jeez,
guys
I
ready
said
to hear-
Jesus Christ a couple
Who,
times.
yeah. Who gives a fuck?
But yes, that was AEW All Out for 2021.
Yeah.
Hashtag Jordan is the coolest one here. Thank you.
Hashtag
Get
fake
that trending on Twitter tonight.
And
No.
honestly, like I'm really looking forward to what Punk's next match is. Because do you think he's gonna do a rematch with Darby, or you think they're done with that?
I
I'm
think
looking forward to it.
Sting. I think a Sting
I
match
don't-
would.
I
we
don't
get
think they're gonna
Sting
do a
next?
Sting match because I feel like a lot of this is like what Punk specifically wants to do, and
If they do a
specifically
they could
wants
do a
to work with
dynamite. They
I
could do a
think he'd be okay
dynamite
with a
Punk
Dynamite
Sting.
match, but I don't think he wants to like do a full build to a pay-per-view match with Sting. Because
Yeah,
the
I
whole point of
agree.
him coming back, he said on like one of the podcasts he went on was he wants to work with the younger guys. He said that in his return. So and Sting isn't necessarily a young fella anymore. You know,
Yeah.
Steve's old enough to
Venus,
be Punk's
baby.
dad.
If it's one thing we can all appreciate from this, and one thing a lot of wrestling fans should really not say, WWE is not dead. AEW helped
Nah,
AEW helped them in a sense
Yeah,
because of
I agree with that.
competition.
AEW's got them on the ropes.
AEW is kicking it really hard, but WWE is far from dead. It's just
Okay.
that the fact that we have a new
Here's the thing.
thing that's happening, and
Here,
that that's happening.
WWE isn't dead, but I think AEW is the better company right now. They're putting out the better product.
I do want to say our SmackDown review this week is going to be so good because it's the
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden show and
Oh,
Cena's
yeah,
coming back.
Lesnar's
So
gonna
we
be
got to
there.
see what's going
And
on with
Brock Lesnar.
Cena
And
because
Brock
he's
Lesnar.
Yeah,
coming
that's gonna
back
be a
for
good
this one.
review. This Raw review is gonna be shit.
I'll be on Raw.
Actually, we
Fuck
said
Raw.
it for we
This
said
Raw
it
is
for-
so bad. I've been watching.
Okay,
It was
honestly,
just
though,
the
we
tag
said,
tournament for like a good hour.
but we did say like if a Raw is just so shit, we'll just talk about like its specific topic and not the Raw.
Yeah, like we'll just quickly run through it, and then we'll just talk
and
about
then talk
the
about
stuff.
different topics.
I do want to say real quickly that Triple Threat last week was great.
Thank you. Damian Priest is the best.
Yeah.
And Drew McIntyre is great with Damian Priest. I would love to see more of Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre
All right,
matches.
we good. Is there anything else we need to talk about before we go on to Tuesday?
Oh,
I'm really
follow
looking-
our socials. They'll probably. I'm not
Oh,
sure
their
where
socials will
AfterCrash
be
is
in-
putting them.
Yeah,
Yeah, put 'em
so
in, like,
I'll have
something.
that shit all sorted up. So don't worry about it.
Okay, and this is
actually,
not like the
can't
Jim
wait.
Cornette experience. This is not like the Jim Cornette experience.
This
Just want to let you
is
all know right
this
now.
is your mom experience.
Oh my god. Okay, this is the Shane O'Mac experience.
All right, have a great
Aw.
night.
Get
Have a
going
great
and
night.
watch
Good
it.
night.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
morning with everyone.